Now, following over the weekend, the controversial issue that dominated the discussions right from Friday, Saturday was the subject of I don't know whether it's the court's acquitting of Woyome, businessman Alfred Agbasi Woyome, of charges of whether he caused financial loss to the state and whether there were any criminal intentions of collecting 51 million Ghana cedis belonging to the state in many respects. I may not be quoting verbatim what the charges are, but a lot has been said about this.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think it's just a trial before the courts that may have prejudiced people's minds as against what really took place in courts, being the apt rule of law as we have it?
Roland, let me tell you that crime is not committed in the opinion of people in their bedroom or in the public place.
Which involves the discussions in the media.
In the media. Crime is committed if the court says so, that crime has been committed. Long before this ruling, there were people who had gone on air. Public opinion was that Woyome was guilty and that he will be convicted. This tells us that what is regarded as crime and what the only institution that can say that somebody has committed a crime is the court. So public opinions, people's perceptions do not factor in when these matters are being dealt in court. Now, the fact is this, that for me, there are two decisions when you send somebody to court. The first one is what we saw, which is you are either acquitted and discharged, or the second one is that you are convicted and sentenced. So any of this could happen in court. And in my view, I was not surprised that one of this happened in court, that he was discharged and acquitted.
Circumstances?
So it could have been A or B?
It could have been A or B. It's A or B. There's no way out. There's no draw. It's not a football match. So you either are convicted and sentenced, or you are discharged and acquitted. So this was what I expected, one of them, and it did happen. Now I'm hearing people say that the kind of defense or the kind of evidence put forward by the Attorney General was so shabbishly done that resulted into this. And when you ask them, they will say that why didn't the Attorney General invite Betty Mould, Barton Odro, and some others? And that those comments were made by the judge. As a result of that, I beg to differ. The judge is a judge. He should remain in his area as an arbiter, because the judge does not know what those people have come to say. It's not in their mind. The judge has no idea as to what a witness will come to say. In any case, the people he's mentioning, Betty Mould and then Barton Odro, these people have been defending their actions and the payment of this money till date. Indeed, it was Betty Mould who, in fact, gave the opinion for the payment of that money. It was Betty Mould who negotiated with Woyome for the installed payments. It was Barton Odro as late as November last year. It was even a matter of public discussion, who at the Cape Coast FM station said that, I'm sure you were in this country, said that, and that was when even the trial was still going on, that Woyome was entitled to that money and he will pay it again and pay it again. Now you ask me, a prosecutor, to bring those people to court, to come and support or spoil my case. Which one? No prosecutor worth a salt will bring witnesses who will come and not corroborate their case and rather go against their case. So I don't see why the judge was saying that we should have brought Betty Mould. It is the state that is complaining, for God's sake. Are we saying that if Betty had died, and may God forbid, and the other man too had died, the state wouldn't have pursued the matter? It is the state that is complaining that it has been defrauded. It's not the individuals. The individuals are just actors, but it's the state. So it doesn't matter who the state brings. The state is an entity. So for me, I disagree with the judge when he said that those people should have been brought.
Okay.
As if to say that he knew what they would be saying.
Okay.
I think my brother is missing the point.
Because I wanted to ask, I know you...
Wait,
I know. The individuals you're talking about, per their roles as public officials, aren't they supposed to act in the interest of the state?
And in their view,
They acted in their interest.
In their view, in fact, some were saying that we had no defense and that it was a waste of time to be spending money going to court. You heard those things.
Sure.
So it was better to cut your losses. These were some of the things. So in their judgment, what they did was in the interest of the state.
I'm surprised he thinks that what went on was fair to the poor taxpayer.
You mean
Did I
what?
say that?
You mean what went on? You mean the court case?
In terms of the ruling and the conduct of the state attorneys and the AG's department, in the way and manner they conducted themselves. I mean, we are talking about a political party that has its antecedent, actually killing 3 former heads of state for corruption, a Champon, a FIFA, a Kufu. People in this country.
So they should have been shot. We're in a democracy.
I'm trying to give you a particular decision. I'm building a point here. People in this country actually.
We have adopted principles of rule of law.
No, I know. People in this country.
You mean there should be
suffered for less. People were beaten. People were maimed. People were lashed in public and all that. All because the government and the then NDC and this PNDC and Armed Forces Revolutionary Council actors thought that these people misappropriated funds belonging to the people. Now let's come back to this issue. You know why Rawlings is extremely angry and says that over 60% of the thieves in government have found themselves in NDC leadership. You look at this case, my brother. When right at the initial stages, the state attorneys pinpointed that indeed the case will be dependent on this individual because they are indeed involved in the whole affairs. They mentioned the names of Patino. It was not the judge who was saying.
The state didn't mention.
They say it.
Where?
They said it in the. I'm coming. Let me finish. When you were talking, I sat down.
Did you have the ruling?
Yeah, I have it.
Have you read it?
I've gone through it.
Did they mention their names?
They mentioned their names.
They mentioned their names.
My brother, you make your submission.
But we are educating the people.
I mean, let me finish.
You mean the judge?
The judge.
Okay.
Do you understand that? No, I'm talking about 2 issues here. The state spoke about the fact that, you know what, these are the people that they are going to depend on in terms of their being witnesses and all that. And at the initial stages,
and they mentioned Batinodro?
All of them. At the initial stages too, you realize that the government were pursuing the lives of Nikwe Tete and Res Bankwa and all those individuals. You know why? Because we thought that they were complicit. When they were put before court, sooner than later, the Attorney General filed a null prosecutor and discharged all these people. So the case was discontinued. Another issue that has become very strange to the ordinary people and also the judge and most people is that we realized that the state attorney were actually leaking documents to Woyome and his team of lawyers. When indeed, internal memo that was written within in-house that seems to suggest that we should not put Batinodro, Betimojusu and the lies before court to be cross-examined.
How do you know the state attorney who gave it out?
But it was leaked. It was within there. About who leaked it?
So when you say
why me didn't go there to rob it? I mean, how did he find this man?
It was the state attorney who did that.
Let me make my. But who leaked it?
You know that for a fact.
Who leaked it?
You know that for a fact.
See, that's what I'm saying. When you're speaking,
when
I allow you
to.
Journalists intercept what? We are talking about Woyome lawyers. These people
and they told you that they got it from
document that weaken the case of the state. Beyond that, you know another striking thing that they did? All the witnesses that they brought came to corroborate the story of Woyome. At a certain point in time, you follow the proceedings and you feel like, it appears that the state has teamed up with the Woyome lawyers to prosecute the case.
That is also indicated
you
in the ruling.
read. That's why the judge referred to you to be shoddy, lackadaisical, and realize that it appears that people have really framed up their mind that, you know what, this is what they want to pursue. Because it was a complete waste of time if you know that we're not ready to pursue that. The summary of the whole exercise is that you realize that this is the government and its cohorts who have made up their mind to loot the state. Woyome at a certain point in time has the nerves to threaten the state and the NDC government that, you know what, you can go ahead with the prosecution. However, I'll also be mentioning names. The moment the man started speaking like that, you know what happens? They started softening their stance and the way and manner they approach the case. Sometimes they don't go to court. Bring this document, they will not bring. Bring this witness, they will not bring. They did all this shabby work, all in the name of wanting to preserve the government and the fact that there are several individuals who benefited from that loot. My brother, this corruption that we are seeing, it is unprecedented. The pain of the people is that, you know what, now we have been told through the mighty hands of God and also the work of Martin Amido, we are supposed to receive 51 million. That's 510 billion old Ghana cedis. Let me give you one scenario without interest. This money has been paid for more than almost 4 years now. I, Richard Asante Abuab, as a business person, if you give me this money and even buy fixed deposit at 27-26% a year, within this period, I'm going to make more than the 510 billion. This man is not going to pay the money with interest. 2, he's been made to walk away free. The case has weakened its stance that even if you go to appeal and whatever it goes to, there's no way the case, the state is going to benefit from it. You know it. Nothing. The state is not going to benefit from it. But you know, you made it so. You made it so. No, you made it so because you see, you have done everything. You have done everything to free these people. It's like
Richard, do I get the video? You're speaking based on circumspection and morality, not necessarily just speaking law.
Law.
Do you agree
on the basis of law? On the basis of law.
Richard, take your hand. Don't be extending. But Richard, do you agree that as a country we have embarked on a path of democratic dispensation, and the rule of law is a key principle, our key principles by which we want to be governed, and so whoever, whether that person is an individual or group, but has his matter addressed before a court, and a court of competent jurisdiction comes out with an outcome that should be acceptable by all parties.
You know that you can skew the outcome that will come from court.
Who can skew?
If
you mean the judge?
I'm not talking about the judge. I'm not talking about a judge. Because you know why?
So who is skewing? Who is skewing?
It's the Attorney General Department. That's what they wanted. This is the result they wanted. Okay. Let me give you an example. Let me give you a small example. You know what? We are in this room. You have people witnessing that Mr. A.
That's a hypothetical.
No, but I'm giving you a scenario.
No, Richard,
let me give you
factual situation.
You know what? Let me give you
it's hypothetical.
No, I'm not even using
Richard, that's okay. Now, Abraham, would you say that if the criticism is being leveled against the Attorney General's department, and the accusation or the concern is that the commitment and the posture was not right towards this very case, would that be agreeable to you? And if you say no, why?
The Attorney General's Department is a state institution.
Sure.
And we have every right to criticize them if, as a people, we think that they are not living up to their responsibility. But you see, this same Attorney General prosecuted cases. The people were left to go. What did we say on that occasion? That the rule of law is working, the judiciary is independent. Now the same Attorney General has prosecuted somebody. It has turned out that that Attorney General, the same Attorney General, is bad. The double standard is my problem.
Which, can you cite cases for for the former?
Look, the same Attorney General Department prosecuted Asamoah Boateng, and then he was acquitted and discharged. Mpieni Kennedy Ajapong. In fact, on those occasions, some of them, they were lifted very high to glorify the rule of law that this country is exercising. Now, the same Attorney General has prosecuted this one, yet we have these people who benefited from the actions or inactions of the Attorney General, turning around, doing a 360 degrees, and condemning the same Attorney General. You feel that some people think they are more special than others. See, the Attorney General Department has challenges. And indeed, President Kufuor said it when he was present and said that that department is the reason why it is difficult to fight corruption because of its weakness. The Attorney General in this matter has said that she's going on appeal. Why are we stampeding her? She says that, and I spoke to her directly, we spoke, and we exchanged information. She said that...
The Attorney General, you spoke to Attorney General?
Yes, I spoke to the AG. She said that the judgment was against the weight of evidence. And to her, the judge was selective in in deciding the evidence that she should take.
For which the judge had the right.
It is wrong. You have to take on board all the evidence. She thinks that the judge did not take on board some aspects of her evidence or the Attorney General's evidence. And she thinks that the judgment was against the weight of the evidence. So she's going on appeal. We have seen instances in this country where under Nana Akufo-Addo, they lost a court case against Chikata because the court had declared that fast-track courts were unconstitutional. Nana Akufo-Addo, we allowed him, he went on appeal, and that was reversed. Why can a would-be lawyer sit on this program and say that nothing will happen at the Court of Appeal, when we have instances where cases have gone to Court of Appeal and they were reversed? Why don't we want to give the same opportunity to this Attorney General, just as we gave to Nana Akufo-Addo,
benefit of the doubt, you say?
Yes. So I think that the Attorney General is angry. She says that she's not happy with the ruling, and she has indicated that she's going on appeal. Now, it is important to indicate to the Ghanaian people that this does not mean that the payment of the money has been foreclosed. Because people are thinking that they say he should go and chop the money. No. The civil matter is still alive. And the AG has put in processes to recover those monies. I am told they have even identified some of his landed properties that they can attach.
Beyond the Ganashid account.
Before the Ganashid and those things. So they have identified some properties that belong to Woyome, and then they can take it off and then sell them for the people of this country. So I think
so to you, that shows commitment.
That shows commitment.
Okay. But as far as the case is concerned, would you say that at one point, perhaps the public opinion may have also blighted or created a certain perception that may have also negatively affected the posture of the Attorney General towards this very case?
I can't see that, because the posture, the public perception is that Woyome is guilty. And so if
the other public perception is that there was some connivance from the side of government to rid the state.
There's ample evidence
to rid the state of 51 million Ghana cedis. And that is also one side of the public opinion.
If that were the case, if that were true...
I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying that's...
yeah, if that were true, then you wouldn't have the same government going to court to prosecute Woyome. You won't have the same government doing that. Indeed, that perception has been disabused by government itself prosecuting Woyome in court. So, in my view, rather we should applaud the Attorney General for even pursuing this matter further and saying that she's going on appeal. She has not left it.
Well, Richard, an appeal should satisfy whoever is criticizing the Attorney General for perhaps not pushing itself positively.
People are not satisfied because, you know what, you go to court tells you that, you have gone on arrangement with the person, pay 17 million, and you end up paying 51 million. When the court has
instructed. And what's the explanation for that?
What was the explanation? The court said, you know what, stay this amount, pay 17 million. Do you understand that? Then you go and enter into an arrangement with the person to pay the entire...
So you're saying in the first place they flattered the court?
Of course.
Directive.
They flattered it head on. The second aspect is that when the individual has admitted that indeed he has no contract with the government, what was the reason for this payment? The second aspect is that my brother is telling me that the AG is angry. She's angry because Ghanaians are getting extremely angry by the day by the conduct of this government. One, if AG is really interested in this case, right from the scratch, they will have dealt with matters in a serious manner. You say the person who defrauded the state. The collaborators, the individuals that he teamed up to defraud the state, those people were not brought before the court. You cancel whatever case or the arrangement that you had with them in terms of putting them before court. You cancelled it. You didn't continue. There's another angle that my brother was saying that they don't understand why the judge will mention certain names, that the people will say, oh, the judge could have subpoenaed such individuals on his own. The court could have subpoenaed them before that. But the point is that this is a criminal case. The judge will not want to be seen to be prosecuting the case on behalf of the attorney.
So the judge couldn't have done that?
The judge couldn't have. You wouldn't have loved to do that. Do you understand? But the basis of all these things is that if indeed,
Wrap up for me. I have only 2 more minutes.
if indeed there is no collaboration, if indeed there's no attempt by the government to loot the people of these huge sums of money.
You mean loot or
This
quotes?
loot. This is complete looting.
No quotes.
No quote. Complete looting. Not in quotes. This is pure naked stealing. This corruption thing is not helping matters. When pure thievery happens, let's refer to it. Do you understand that? And stop referring to things as corruption. When people rob the state,
But this is
people
the
are
rule of law. The
milking
gentleman is paying back the 51 million. But the aspect of whether his intentions were criminal or not.
the intentions are wow.
That is what has not been proven.
That intention,
because the standard of proof in criminal matters,
scheme
the standard of proof
I mean, beyond reasonable,
is beyond reasonable doubt.
So you have the last word for me.
And you know that to prove somebody guilty, the standard, because it's so high, it is difficult to pin that person down. That is not to say that
There's enough
So you're saying they almost lied on the prosecution
to have provided
beyond reasonable doubt.
And that is so difficult to do. That's why most of the time
than
the simple matter, because the simple matter is on the balance of probability, and that's why in that case we're able to. So you see,
weighty evidence available to the state. The state decided to.
In your estimation.
I mean, even their own estimation.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Rollins know those evidence.
Who?
That's Rollins. You know, that's what you refer to them as.
Rollins is now a
thieves.
principle of the law.
I mean, the person who talked about the fact that people are stealing the state. 60%.
All right,
60% thieves in government.
My guest for the morning,
60%.
Abraham Amaliba.
Are you happy?
Abraham Amaliba is a member of the NDC's legal team. He's also a lecturer in law, and he's also a practicing lawyer. And thanks for joining me, Abraham. And Richard Asante Yeboah, member of the MPP's communication team, a lawyer in the making. He will go through the bar exam, and then you become a full practicing lawyer in Ghana. And thanks for joining me, Richard. And I wish you well for the week as well. And thanks for joining me. That's it for our edition this very morning. Please join me same time tomorrow. And please wish you speedy recovery. Mama View is a bit under the weather this morning. Please always get interactive with us on our social network page. Join us on TV, and also our page or our handle on Twitter. Join us on TV. That's it for the morning. Thanks for joining us. Bye.